So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where today we're going to be taking a look at alternate endings that we could have had throughout the years in Call of Duty Zombies. From Revelations to 5 to Classified and so on. Since the old timeline was a part of a cycle within a multiverse, that meant there was hundreds, thousands, even millions of different outcomes that our characters could have come to. Of course, we have our canon endings, what actually happened as a part of the cycle, what we saw take place in game, but there were many other events that we learned of through radios, ciphers, documents that also happened to our characters that we never got to witness, which included them dying. And well, some of these alternate outcomes are interesting to say the least. So the first one I want to show you could be found in Revelations. It is a cipher, this one up on screen now, and when you decode it, it says, "I am the last of us, but I will be joining you soon, my friends." Death is near. I hope what we have done doesn't come back to bite this universe in the ass. Thank God we will all be gone, because if Monty ever found this place, we would be in a world ton of shit. Maybe now, with us all gone, the children will truly be safe. D. Now remember, this cipher was from Revelations, which means it was before we discovered Monty's true intentions. In Revelations, we learned that, okay, he wasn't telling the full truth, and as a part of Richtofen's insurance policy, we drank the blood vials, allowing us to continue existing, which meant Monty sent us back to the beginning of the cycle, the Great War. Even though that's what Monty did to us in Revelations, he still came across as a pretty good guy. It wasn't until later on in Black Ops 4 when we finally broke the cycle that his true intentions were revealed, how he was perpetuating this endless cycle to keep himself alive because it was the only way he knew how, and in Alpha Omega we saw him eat Dr. Maxis. We definitely saw a different side to Dr. Monty once we had finally broke the cycle, but we never saw anything like what's mentioned in this cipher. It's clearly Dempsey who was writing this, and the way he says things like, "I am the last of us, but I will be joining you soon, my friends. Death is near. I hope what we have done doesn't come back to bite this universe in the ass. Thank God we'll be gone, because if Monty ever found this place, we'd be in a world ton of shit. Maybe now with us gone, the children will be safe." The Primis characters and the children were clearly in this alternate scenario hiding from Dr. Monty. They had done something which they thought would allow the children to truly be safe. Dempsey is the last one, so we can assume the other Primis characters, Richtofen, Takeo and Nikolai, at this point were dead. Dempsey was the only one left, but he was about to die as well. How these characters died in this scenario, we have no idea. It sounds like he's sick. Maybe it had something to do with Element 115, but what did Primis do? Where did they go? Where were they hiding? The fact that Dempsey says if Monty ever found this place, we'd be in a world ton of shit, makes me think it's somewhere that Monty doesn't know of, which is strange because from what we understand, he knows each and every corner of the multiverse. Could they have been hiding in the empty Earth, but I'm pretty sure Monty knows of that place's existence? I don't know. And the other thing he talks about is the children's safety. How in Revelations, whether this be after that ending or before, I'm assuming before, it would make the most sense to me, but how did they find out Monty wasn't actually who he said he was, and that he was evil in a way, that he didn't really care about the children's safety? Imagine if this was actually the canon ending we got in Revelations, where instead of the cycle resetting, Primis took the children, hid somewhere in a corner of the multiverse away from Dr. Monty, which caused them to die, but allowed the children to be safe. That would have been a cool ending, but it may have meant Black Ops 4 never existed, which in turn would lead to all of the games after that, such as Cold War, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3, and now Black Ops 6, also not existing as well. Another alternate ending that we learned of, which is actually pretty similar, was in Classified from this cipher, and once decoded it says, "Field report. I don't know why I'm doing this. Is anyone receiving me? If you are, then all hope is lost. I am the last one. The others, they are gone. We failed. I don't know if there are multiple outcomes, or if this has always been the only one. No matter what we do, what we fix, we still end up here. This time travel shit, multiverse, shit fries your brain. I hope Richtofen established contact with the others. Woke them up. It's the only way now. It's up to them. Damn, it's cold. Very cold. Not much time left now." So again, this is from the point of view of Dempsey. We can tell that by the word field report at the beginning. Similarly to the last cipher, Primis have once or again dying, but in this one, he talks about how he hopes Richtofen established contact with the others. Woke them up. Could that be referring to the awakening of the Ultimus characters in the Giant from their stasis chambers? I'd like to know what exactly they failed at, because he says, I don't know if there are multiple outcomes or if this has always been the only one. No matter what we do, what we fix, we still end up here. This multiverse shit fries your brain. What were Primis trying to do that led to them failing and ultimately dying? I honestly don't know. And the other thing I thought of is when Dempsey says at the end, damn, it's cold, very cold. Could that be a clue as to where he is? It could just be that he's feeling colder because his heart rate is slowing down and he's physically becoming colder. He's feeling death approach him. Or is he cold because of his surroundings and where he is? Could he be in the dark ether? And I say that because in another radio that we had in Classified, the Victus characters, specifically Stuhlinger, sound like they could be in a similar place.
Is this thing on? Richtofen! Hey, Richtofen! You've been gone from my head a really long time. I gotta be honest, I'm freaking out a bit, man. It's so quiet. I can actually hear myself think. Do you know what that's like? It's not nice at all. So, listen, buddy, old pal, we gotta talk. You sent us here, of all places, but you forgot to tell us what to do. It's dark, it's damp, it's just really filthy. I think the roaches are crawling with roaches. How is that even possible? Wait, shoot. Am I even talking to the right Richtofen? Oh, you could be the other one, right? Or the other one. Yeah, you know what? Just go talk to your Richtofen pals at the hoity-toity Ricky Gang Clubhouse and find out what the we're supposed to be doing.
Now, I don't think this radio is of an alternate ending. I think this was canon to the storyline. This actually happened, and I think we saw it after the Takeo ending cutscene when Victus got banished to the Dark Ether. I think this radio is from Stuhlinger moments after he was sent to the Dark Ether, after everything just became dark. Stuhlinger describes the place he's at as being dark and damp and filthy, but the giveaway is when he says that he could be talking to the other Richtofen or the other one, right? Stuhlinger only discovered that there are multiple Richtofens during Takeo, which means this radio would have to be after that, after they were banished to the Dark Ether. This must be from Stuhlinger after the Takeo ending, which also tells us that, at least for a short amount of time, the Victus crew survived in there. Whether or not they're still alive in the Dark Ether now in Black Ops 6 Zombies is a totally different question. More than likely not. I think there's a 99% chance that they're dead, but the possibility is still open. We can't close it off completely. And the other alternate ending that we've seen in Zombies is from the 5 characters, where as a part of the original timeline, when you play 5 in the Pentagon as JFK, McNamara, Castro and Nixon, we learn from the Canorium after the outbreak in the Pentagon ends, all 4 of those characters survive. Once the zombie outbreak ends in Ascension, that causes the zombies to leave the Pentagon as well, and the 5 crew survive. But in an alternate scenario, this time around whilst the zombie outbreak is happening in the Pentagon, McNamara hides in a closet and records a message of him where he tells us that JFK, Nixon and Castro have all been killed.
This is Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara. I am transmitting on a secure channel in the most dire of circumstances. The Pentagon is under attack from an unknown enemy. As of this moment, I am safely ensconced inside a janitor's closet. Unfortunately, I fear the President and the VIPs may not have found similar safe haven. From what I have observed, our attackers may be blighted by some kind of sickness. Either that or they're just dirty hippies under the influence of hallucinogenic substances. I can only hope that this message will bring rescue. Until then, please, pray for me.
He then says, I can only hope this message will bring rescue. Until then, please, pray for me. But moments after, he dies as well. So we have 2 different endings for the 5 characters. One, in the original timeline, they survive, and then here, all of them die. But those are just some of the alternate endings. Like I said, because of the existence of the multiverse and the cycle, there are hundreds, thousands, even millions of different outcomes, alternate endings, that these characters have been through. All scenarios that weren't part of the cycle, but they happened. They just weren't canon to the never-ending loop. We've seen ones where Takeo kills Richtofen and Nikolai, he slays them with a sword. We've seen ones where Richtofen gets eaten by a thrasher, where Dempsey gets thrown off a rooftop. There are loads that we still don't know about, but they're always interesting. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. If you could subscribe to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate that to get us towards 700,000 subscribers. But thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, goodbye.